Let's talk to God. One more thing, like, subscribe, and share. Come on, let's talk to God. Woo!
Hey, good evening, everybody. It's Cutler here on the Let's Talk to Cutler broadcast, the Let's Talk to Cutler virtual book club, the Let's Talk to Cutler vlog, the Let's Talk to Cutler gathering spot, the Let's Talk to Cutler gathering space, the Let's Talk to Cutler meeting place, the Let's Talk to Cutler community of winners. And I am so glad to be here. Not only am I glad to be here, but I'm glad that you all are here with me. Thank you so much for being here with me. And just to put the disclaimer out here, just in case you're stopping by for the first time and you're wondering, what is that guy talking about? What is this channel about? Some of the other people can tell you. Some of the other family members and community members can tell you this station, this channel, this YouTube vlog is all about positivity. It is about inspiration. It's about motivation. It's about encouraging ourselves and sometimes challenging ourselves to show up a little bit better tomorrow than we did today. And I have to say this, I have to keep saying this. When we challenge ourselves to show up better tomorrow than we did today, it doesn't mean that today was a failure. When we look at today and say, did I show up better today than I did yesterday? It does not mean that yesterday was a failure, but it means we're looking at the positive side of it. We have a different perspective, a perspective that says better is possible, better is obtainable, better is attainable, better is achievable, better can be done, better can be had, better can be mine. And that's what we talk about. And that's why we spend these 1,800 seconds together every Tuesday and every Thursday. It is about making sure that we understand that better is possible and that better can be ours. And better is a mindset. Better happens not just a week from now or 5 years from now or 10 years from now. But I hope we are somehow really getting it and grasping hold to the fact that better happens as soon as it happens in my mind. It may not manifest in the way that I want it until later, but it starts happening as soon as I believe that it's possible. All things are possible. You just have to believe and know that it's possible. So that's why we spend these 1,800 seconds talking. So I want to thank you all for being a part of this community, because you inspire me, you motivate me, and you challenge me to somehow show up better each day than I did the day before. Thank you all so much for that, because I think about you all when I'm not even in this live broadcast. I think about, what am I going to share? What experiences in my life can I offer from a place of transparency that would be an offering into somebody else's life, that will help them to grow, that will help them to go, that will help them to know that they can do this and that we can do it. So I think about you all, and I'm thankful for you all. So I just wanted to put that out there and then just invite people who are stopping by for the first time. Listen, don't make it your last time. Stop by, hit those brakes. And when you hit the brakes, just make sure that you subscribe. When you subscribe, click on the notification bell. The notification bell lets you know whenever I've gone live and whenever I've uploaded new content. And yes, sometimes because of the excitement that I'm dealing with, the tone and the speed of my voice, the intonation, the inflections, all of that stuff will change. Just want to let you know that. All right. And then as you're coming into the chat room, do me a favor. If you would click on the thumbs up to give the conversation a thumbs up. It says to YouTube, you like what that guy is talking about. But it also says to me, Cutler, I'm encouraged by the conversations. Please keep on having this kind of real conversation about real things, real people in real life. I would appreciate that if you all would just do a thumbs up. I also like to just a little fun moment that we have to check out and see who's jumped in the chat first. I call the people who jump in the chat first the LTTC, the Let's Talk to Cutler VIPs for the evening. So I just wanted to do a shout out to you all. So let me just call them by name. Tracy Johnson says, hey, everyone. Good evening. Sylvia Clemens, good to see you, my friend, says, hello, everyone. Yvonne Jones says, good evening, everyone. I want you all to know I'm thankful for you all and I love you all. Thank you, my friend Lynn. Lynn says, I'm thankful for you. I'm thankful for you as well, my friend. All right. Listen, I want us to continue in the vein where we were in our last conversation. I want us to pick up with the tone of that conversation, because those of you who were here with me, you may remember that the last time we talked, the last time we got together, we talked about how to handle self-doubt. Let me know if you remember that. And I wanted to talk about that during our last conversation, because if there is anything that interferes with our ability to enjoy new opportunities, it is self-doubt. If there's anything that can lead to self-sabotage, getting in the way of ourselves, it's self-doubt. Self-doubt is what I call that. It's a paralyzing, it's not just a lack of self-confidence, but it is a paralyzing kind of lack of self-confidence that sometimes come from traumatic situations and even from toxic relationships. Sometimes you can go through trauma and drama that creates this lack of self-confidence, this lack of self-esteem, this lack of self-awareness, this lack of self-assuredness. And you can go through those traumatic events and they affect how you have confidence, your ability to have confidence in yourself. And sometimes even toxic relationships where people chip at your emerald just to make that diamond look good. We're all jewels, but they would chip at you just to make themselves show up a little bit better and make themselves better. You don't have to look better at the cost of anybody else. There's enough room at the top for all of us. But people will do that in toxic relationships. And one of the things that I want to empower us during our conversations, I want to empower us not to hear that kind of foolishness. I want to empower us to just let it roll off of our backs like water on a duck. I want to empower us sometimes to not let it even go in the first ear. Sometimes we say, that went through the first ear, through one ear and came out the other. I want to empower us sometimes to not even let that stuff penetrate our ear canal. Because who gave somebody permission to tell you what you couldn't be? Who gave somebody permission to tell you what you could not do? Who gave somebody permission to tell you what opportunities you could not lay hold to? Who gave anybody permission to make you get in your own way? Toxic relationships. And if you missed our conversation about why we allow toxic people in our lives, please go back and catch the replay. I don't even know which day it was, but search for one of the video chats that we had about why we allow toxic people in our lives. Sometimes we know people are toxic and we still allow them in our lives because there's some degree of comfort with what we know. And many of us, we compromise. We compromise our confidence. We compromise our ability to stand in ourselves because of what's comfortable. We compromise confidence because of what's comfortable. And we're in a place of comfort where we allow people to tear us down and rip us apart and tear us to shreds because that's a comfortable space. Meanwhile, they're still ripping at our self-confidence in a toxic situation. And many times they are doing it just to make themselves look good. Just wanted to spend some time in that moment. Sometimes my conversations are really just sort of stream of consciousness. And wherever I feel a moment that I need to just stay there and empower us, that's what I'll do. And that's what I just had to do. Because many times we interact with people who destroy us, tear us down, tear us apart. And we are sometimes so embarrassed that we allow them to do that until we will engage in suicidal behavior. But we'll do what we can to make it look like homicide because we don't want anybody to know that we are self-destructing. I hope that's helping somebody. Been there, done it. Got the certificate, got the awards, got the plaque, got the trophy, got it all. So don't do that. That's what self-doubt will do. That's what self-annihilation will do. But I pray that we don't do that. All right? I pray that we don't do that. So remember, self-doubt is the thing that it's a paralyzing self-confidence. So sometimes we all go through the moments of having a lack of self-confidence, and that's that kind of casual thing that we get over. But when it's paralyzing, It's dangerous. And so that's what we talked about before. If you didn't get a chance to join us when we were live, make sure that you go back and catch the replay. We talked about how you have to remember that you are not an island and that you have to ask for help. I just want to catch you all up. I just want to tempt your palates and tempt your taste buds so that you can go back and watch it. If you did not get a chance to catch us when we were live and we talked about how to handle self-doubt, let me tell you, you have to learn how to handle self-doubt. Otherwise, self-doubt will handle you. So we're getting a handle, no pun intended, on those things. We talked about how you have to remember again that you are not an island and sometimes you have to ask for help. We talked about how you need to see your challenges as opportunities to grow and then embrace them as an opportunity to do what? Step outside of your comfort zone. Because it is not until you step outside of your comfort zone that you see new things and you go new places and you have new experiences. It is not until you step outside of your comfort zone until you can only rely on your confidence. There's a difference between comfort and confidence. Comfort is I don't necessarily feel the best. Confidence says I know it's going to work out for my good. It's kind of iffy, but I still know. I stand in the confidence of knowing that it's going to work together for my good. And so it's okay to step outside of your comfort zone because that's when you see new things. That's when you go new places. That's when you have new experiences. Well, we also talked about how you should not beat yourself up. When you're dealing with self-doubt, if you want to really know how to handle self-doubt, make sure you don't beat yourself up. Make sure that you don't beat yourself up even before going into a new opportunity. Sometimes we beat ourselves up before we even get into the new opportunities. We talk ourselves out of it before we even get into it. But learn how not to beat yourself up. We talked about how we should learn from our mistakes. I think we were just about to conclude. We were just about to conclude during our last conversation when I mentioned that when it feels like life is spinning and you're dealing with the self-doubt and you're not sure what's going on in life, sometimes it's just a matter of saying, hey, what is going on? Stop this ride. I want to get off. But a lot of times I talked about as we were ending and concluding the conversation, I said, when it feels like life is spinning and spinning you so fast, sometimes what you have to do is do like a caterpillar. What was that? Cutler, a caterpillar? Really? Absolutely. Do like a caterpillar. Learn how to shield yourself for just a moment. Hang in there and then emerge even more bold and more beautiful than before. If you've ever had the occasion to meet me in person, talk to me in person, a lot of times when people ask me, how am I doing? I know this. I know that my response is not quite, it's a little incongruent with the question. And that's because rather than saying good, well, fine, okay, not so good, my response is quite often, I'm hanging in there. Because think about what the caterpillar does. I told you the caterpillar has to shield itself, spin around, hang in there that life happened, and then emerge more bold, more brave, more beautiful. A lot of times that's all I'm doing, you all. People say, Cutler, how you doing? I said, I'm hanging in there. And I mean it from the bottom of my heart. You have to learn how to do that. When life is not going so good for you, it's about your perspective. Twist your perspective, change your perspective. When you're not having the most productive of moments, you don't have to let everybody know it. You can let a small circle of people that you trust, you can let them know. But learn how to shield yourself and hang in there while life is happening. Don't let people get to know all of your business. And if you need to disappear, listen, if you need to disappear for a moment, and then they ask you, where have you been? Tell them I've been on a retreat. Linda, you say that a lot too. I'm hanging in there. Sometimes you have to step away. You have to withdraw and you have to retreat. And then people say, well, where have you been? I've been on a retreat. You're not lying. I've been on a retreat. I had to retreat within myself, within my safe space. I had to retreat. Tell them I've been on a retreat. Oh, where did you go? Well, I went somewhere that creates peace for me. Tell them when they say, well, how are you doing? What are you up to? I'm hanging in there. I'm telling you, I'm telling you all how to handle life. Because if you dwell on the not so good, the not so good starts dwelling on you. When they say, "Where have you been? What are you doing?" Tell them, I've been around." And that's true. That they'll never know that you've been spinning around, that you've been hanging in there, and you went to a safe space for you. I've been on a retreat. I'm hanging around. I've been around. I'm hanging in there. Tracy, you like that? A retreat. Where have you been? On a retreat. Not knowing sometimes I had to get away from you. I discovered you're not so good for me. I've been on a retreat. I think as we were concluding our conversation before, I also said that you got to think about the Lynn Wright. That's a good one. I've been on a retreat. I think I also mentioned as we were concluding before, I mentioned that sometimes we have to know that your life is not like a remote control TV, because sometimes you've got to get up and change it. What does that mean, Cutler? It means that you should not be afraid to recreate, refine, redefine, or reinvent yourself. And that's what I want to talk about. And let me keep offering these positive perspectives. Just because you decide to refine, redefine, reinvent, and recreate yourself, it does not mean that you are ashamed or embarrassed about who you are. Doesn't mean that, but it means you're taking advantage of an opportunity to emerge. Even, I've said it before, even more bold, more brave, more beautiful than you were before. You're taking advantage of the opportunity to show up better than you did before. You're taking advantage of the opportunity to show up more successful than you did before. You're taking advantage of the opportunity to show up more victoriously than you did before. You're taking advantage of the opportunity to show up more sure than you did before. So let's talk about how to reinvent yourself. And trust me on this one. We all need from time to time to reinvent ourselves, because we have to make sure that we don't get stuck in life. I think I did a broadcast about that too. How to make sure you don't get stuck. Y'all go back and search for it and find it, watch it, and in getting stuck, you all, because when you are stuck, you feel like no matter what you do, you feel like no matter what you say, nothing will ever change. Anybody ever been stuck before? Both hands need to go up for me. You feel like it doesn't matter what you do, it doesn't matter what you say, you feel like nothing will ever change, nothing will ever get better, and you feel like you will be spinning your wheels in mud forever and going nowhere quickly. Has anybody ever been there? But I want to talk about that tonight. I want to talk about how we reinvent ourselves. I mentioned to you all, I think I'll probably share this as a series, because I want to go slowly. How to reinvent ourselves. Instead of making New Year's resolutions about things that may not necessarily be reachable, let's stop and see what we can do. Because whenever you feel stuck, you all know this, anybody who's ever been stuck before, whenever you feel stuck, the smallest molehill seems like a big mountain. And that's a dangerous place, my friends. That's a very dangerous place, because things like fear and guilt and anxiety and shame and self-pity and low self-esteem, they all become magnified when you feel like you're stuck. This is really coming from a transparent place in my soul this evening. Been there, done it. I've lived there. I've existed there. I've been there. I've dwelt there. Everything is blown out of proportion because you feel stuck. Everything becomes magnified. You find yourself going down this downward spiral. So rather than that happening to you, rather than that happening to us, I want to see if I can at least try to help empower us so that we can see what can we do to try to reinvent ourselves and recreate ourselves and redefine and refine ourselves. And one reason I want to talk about this, you all, is because the only way to get new results, you all listen, the only way to get new results is to get a new mindset. Should I say that again? The only way to get new results is to get a new mindset. You all know the definition. I'm sure you've heard the definition of insanity. It's doing the same thing the same way, expecting different results. But I just got what I'm going to bring to us as an offering tonight. I offer us the power to consider a new mindset. See, some of us won't even consider the possibility of a new mindset, but I offer us the power to at least consider a new mindset. That is what I come bearing this evening. That is what I come with, an offering. The power to at least consider the possibility of a new mindset. I wish somebody would just post in the chat, I'm changing my mind. I'm changing my mind. Consider the possibility of a new mindset. I'm changing my mind. Somebody help me out and at least put that in the chat, so as someone is catching the replay, they see what the undercurrent of the conversation is, and what I need you all to do in this dynamic relationship while I'm talking. I want you all to at least consider the possibility of a new mindset. Just remind somebody, listen, I'm changing my mind. That's all. So what is that we need to talk about, Cutler? What are some helpful hints? Thank you, Jason, for you. I like the way you wrote that. Not only am I changing my mind, I changed my mind. Thank you, Tracy. Thank you, Sylvia. Thank you all for writing that in there. I'm changing my mind, or I've changed my mind. Either way, just write it in the chat. Because I'm going to offer us some helpful hints and tips of how we do that. Thank you, Annie Cutler, for writing that. Thank you, Envy, for writing that. Thank you, Linda, for writing that. Thank you all. I'm changing my mind, and I want us to think about it. I'm reinventing myself. I'm reigniting myself. Cutler, how do we do it? Let me tell you the first thing I offer us in terms of how to do it. Take a good look at the good. That's what I call it. That's what Cutler came up with. Take a good look at the good. I want to offer us a new perspective. Take a good look at the good. Everything in your life is not bad. Everybody in your life is not bad. Focus on what's going good. Focus on what's going well. Focus on whom you love. Focus on whom you trust. Focus on who loves you. Change your mindset for just a moment by changing your perspective. Focus. Take a good look at the good and stay there. When you see the good, focus on it for just a moment. Stay there and look at it. Look at who loves you. Look at who you love. Look at who you trust and who trusts you. Look at what's happening, what's going good, what's going well. Look at all of that. And you all know I am a proponent of tangible reminders. If you need to go to the Dollar Tree, Dollar Tree, whatever, if you need to go somewhere and buy you some inexpensive, just glasses, magnifying glasses, eyeglasses, or stuff to just sprinkle around your house to help you to remember to focus on the good, to take a good look at the good, do that. Or if you want to get a Post-it and just write good and just start posting it in the mirrors of your house, on the doors of your house, just post it somewhere. Just write the word good, G-O-O-D, and just post it on Post-its around your house. I'm telling you all, this stuff, sometimes it sounds so trivial. It sounds so rudimentary. But it works. It helps you to focus on the good. I'm telling you all, I'm just trying to help empower you all like I've been empowered. Sometimes you've just got to get a Post-it, get 15 Post-its and write good on it and post it all around your house. It helps you to take a good look at the good, to focus, to say, you know what, I'm not focusing on the bad. I'm not focusing on what's going wrong. I'm focusing on what's going right. I'm not focusing on who's creating drama in my life. I'm not focusing on who does not love me. I'm not focusing on who's talking about me, but I'm focusing on the people who love me. I'm focusing on the people who trust me. I'm focusing on the people that I trust. I'm focusing on the people that I love. Take a good look at the good. Do that. Get those spare glasses and toy magnifying glasses. Get all of that. It sounds foolish. I know it sounds silly sometimes. It sounds elementary. It sounds rudimentary. It sounds all of that. Sounds like you say, I don't need to do all that, but you're worth every investment in yourself. Get a pen and a piece of paper and post this. You're worth all of that. You're worth that investment of your time. Learn to look at the good. And I may not get beyond this one, you all, because because for some of us, learning how to look at the good is a big step. Some of us cannot. Yeah, Yvonne, yes, take a good look at the good. And learning how to focus on the good is a big step for some of us. Again, I may need to stay here because that's a big step for some of us because it means learning how to focus. Some of us can't focus. Some of us can never focus on the one good thing because we're so busy looking at all of the not so good things. But I offer us the ability to focus. Turn your focus. I offer us the ability to focus. Focus on the one good thing. I read something the other day that says if we would stop focusing on the whole staircase and just focus on the one step. We can't see the one step that's in front of us because we're focusing on the whole staircase. We're focusing on everything that went wrong in our lives. We're focusing on everything that didn't happen. We're focusing on dreams that didn't come true. We're focusing on hopes that did not manifest. We're focusing on all of that. People who walked out of our lives, people who left us. We're focusing on people that we left. We're focusing on all of those things. Focus. Look at the whole staircase. Learn how to look at that one step. I hope that helps somebody. I hope that helps us because I want us empowered to learn how to reinvent, reignite, redefine, and refine ourselves. Annie Cutler says that often happens to me. It happens to me too. I'm so busy looking at the whole sequence of events, the whole timeline. And I'm so busy looking at the whole timeline until I forget to focus just on this part right here. I hope this is helping you all tonight. I think I'm going to just stop right here because I want to ignite us to at least start saying, you know what? We're going to do this thing together. I'm going to take my time. And the next time we chat, I want you all to talk back to me and say, Cutler, thank you. I got that. I've done that one piece. After we talked Thursday, I went away and I focused on what's going right in my life, what's going good in my life, what's happening that I enjoy, what's happening that I'm really thriving in, what's happening that's working out for my good. I walked away focusing on good people who are in my life. Walked away focusing on knowing that there are good people whose lives I'm a part of. Walked away focusing on the good things. Doesn't matter how many there are, just focus on the good things. A lot of times it's about perspective. Stop looking at the whole staircase. Y'all, I got to get up out of here. I've been with you for 1,800 seconds. I promise you, we have listen, as we say in the South, we got a ways to go. Because there's so many more of these that I want us to talk about. By the time we move into 2023, God willing, we're emerging like the butterfly. We're caterpillars now. Life is spinning. Life is happening. We've created this shield. We're going to hang in there and hold on. People are going to ask us, where have you been? Make sure you tell them, I've been on a retreat. You can even say, I've been on a retreat with Cutler. Or been on a retreat, as Jay Song for you would say, I've been on a retreat with Let's Talk to Cutler. Listen, y'all, do me a favor. Let's keep building community. Let's keep maintaining connectivity. Keep your heads up. Keep your hopes up. Stay safe. Stay sane. Know that from my heart to yours, there is so much love. And we're going to keep talking about this. We're going to reinvent, redefine, and refine ourselves. All right. Y'all have a good evening. Tell somebody, let's come on. Let's talk to Cutler. Thank you all for being here. I'll talk to you all next time. Good night.